a roaring thunder, a streak across the sky. The B-1B Lancer should be the stuff of nightmares. But why does it struggle to strike fear like its stealthier cousins? Why, despite its power, does it remain overlooked? Once hailed as the backbone of America's bomber fleet, the B-1B Lancer is fast, powerful, and can carry a payload heavier than any other US bomber. And yet, in the modern world of stealth and precision, it seems almost out of place. Let's take a step back. Imagine you're a soldier on the ground in the middle of a hostile conflict. You hear the deep rumbling roar of jet engines cutting through the sky. You look up, and there it is, a B-1B Lancer, screaming past at near supersonic speeds. If you're the enemy, you'd expect this to be your worst nightmare, right? But here's the catch. It's not. Let's get real here. If a B-2 Spirit or a B-21 Raider were heading your way, you wouldn't hear a thing until it was too late. No warning, no chance to run. The fear factor, through the roof. But the B-1B, it announces itself before it even arrives. And in modern warfare, that's a problem. Back in the day, bombers didn't need to be stealthy. They were designed for raw destruction, leveling entire enemy positions with brute force. The B-52 Stratofortress? A giant in that regard. It was the hammer of the Cold War, a symbol of overwhelming power. As warfare evolved, so did the need for invisibility. Enter the era of stealth. The B-1B was born in a strange in-between phase of military aviation. Originally conceived as a Mach 2 nuclear bomber during the Cold War, it was reimagined in the 80s as a conventional weapons carrier. Speed became its weapon. But when stealth bombers like the B-2 emerged, suddenly speed wasn't enough. The enemy was upgrading its radar, its defenses, and the Lancer, it was no longer invisible. Now picture this. It's 2018. You're an enemy combatant dug deep in a fortified position somewhere in the Middle East. Suddenly, the distant, unmistakable thunder of an approaching aircraft. There's a split-second decision to make. Take cover or fire? Now, if this were a B-2, you wouldn't even get that choice. But with the B-1B, you know it's coming. You have time to react, maybe even launch a counterattack. Don't get me wrong, the B-1B is still devastating in combat. It played a major role in Afghanistan, Iraq, and Syria, launching surgical strikes with deadly accuracy. But the fear factor? It just isn't the same as the silent, unpredictable B-2 or the incoming B-21 Raider. So here's the dilemma. The B-1B is fast, but it's not invisible. It's powerful, but it's loud. In an era where precision and secrecy win wars, does it still have a place? Or is it, despite all its strength, slowly fading into obscurity? For now, the Lancer flies on, proud, powerful, and ever ready. But in the shadows, the next generation looms. The silent, the unseen, the truly feared. The future of warfare belongs to those who strike first without ever being seen. But let's not forget the human element. Behind every B-1B mission, there's a crew, men and women who've trained for years to master this machine. They've flown missions in the dead of night, delivered payloads with pinpoint accuracy, and returned home to their families. For them, the Lancer isn't just a bomber, it's a part of their lives, a symbol of their dedication and sacrifice. And yet, as the sun sets on the B-1B's era, we can't help but wonder, what happens to the legacy of a machine that once defined American air power? The Lancer may not be stealthy, but it's earned its place in history. It's a reminder of a time when speed and power were enough, a time when the roar of its engines struck fear into the hearts of enemies. But times change. The B-2 Spirit and the B-21 Raider represent the future, a future where silence is the ultimate weapon, where the mere possibility of an unseen threat is enough to paralyze an enemy. The B-1B may not fit into that future, but it will always be remembered as a bridge between two eras, a testament to the evolution of warfare. And perhaps that's the real story here. The B-1B Lancer isn't just a machine, it's a symbol of transition, of adaptation, and of the relentless march of progress. It's a reminder that even the mightiest tools of war must eventually give way to the next generation. The Lancer's time may be coming to an end, but its legacy will endure. In the annals of military history, it will always be remembered as the bomber that roared when the world demanded silence, the bomber that bridged the gap between the old and the new, the bomber that for a time ruled the skies. What do you think? Is the B-1B Lancer still a force to be reckoned with? Or is it a relic of a bygone era? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, hit that like button, and if you love deep dives into military aviation, you know what to do. Subscribe. I'll see you in the next one.